So then of course there's the, well, that's great. I understand regulated and ready, but what do I do if my child is not regulated and ready? And how do we get regulated and ready? So the first thing to just put out there as most important is everyone's sensory systems are totally different. And calming music to you might be really aggravating music to your child because of the way their brain is taking in, their brain and their body are taking in auditory information or visual information. So nothing can really replace getting a good solid understanding of your child's sensory systems, all 8 of them, understanding how they take in sensory input. But for the sake of simplicity, we wanted to go ahead and give some tools that we knew had a very low probability of dysregulating on a physiological level. So what do I mean by that? In general, doing mindfulness activities, breathing activities, and muscle contracting or proprioceptive activities tend to calm the body down, increase parasympathetic activity and decrease sympathetic, lower cortisol levels, increase serotonin levels, and overall help us connect our brains and body and really get to this place of regulated and ready. So this does not mean that these are like foolproof, your child every time. I so wish I had a magic wand, a crystal ball, and a button that I could press like all the rest of you do. But this is as close to it as we have as occupational therapists. Movement that's heavy on the muscle contraction side is our closest thing to a magic wand. And to some teachers and parents, it does feel like a magic wand sometimes, but in a hard moment, it might not. So I thought we'd do something really silly because I love vulnerability and I think that's a great way. So why not look silly all together? And I wanted to throw a couple of things out there that are use your muscle activities that we don't typically think of, right? So yes, we absolutely could be like the amazing super nanny that goes into people's homes and says, go dig a hole in the backyard. That would be muscle contractions, of course. That would give proprioceptive input. That's great. But what about in that moment where you can't get your child to walk anywhere because they won't go? You might use your own muscles, model regulation, and get some co-regulation happening because of mirror neurons. So what are you going to do? First thing on this is use your face muscles to squeeze your face as tight as you can for 3 seconds. So you're going to go like this. So really great. Because you're contracting muscles in your face, that connection to your brain is super short now. So a super short, super highway, you're quickly getting some serotonin up there. So that's a great one to do. Another one that you can do kind of incognito or covert secret tool is to stick your tongue out as far as you can. So it would be like this. And really feel, that's going to relax all these muscles down your neck as well. Really, really great. The covert part would be once you put the tongue back in your mouth, you can push your tongue up against the roof of your mouth like you're going to blow up bubble gum, and really squish your tongue up against the roof of your mouth. And then the one that we just did at the very beginning. So shrugging your shoulders up and relaxing it down. Now, how would you use this activity sheet? You could have your children cut out the 4 squares and put it, you could laminate it or not, put it on a little key ring and let your child know very, of course, kindly and quietly and regulated in your voice, say, I'm happy to talk more with you about watching Paw Patrol after you choose one of your tools, and giving them these choices. Kids love choices in a moment of hard and crazy. The choice is going to be the bridge to getting their frontal lobe working again, getting them out of that fight or flight response. So we tried to put a couple choices, but as you can see here, we didn't do 5 million because 5 million is overwhelming. And again, there's nothing super magical about these ones, although they are intentionally targeted at that proprioceptive system. Sarah, did you have any thoughts on this one? I can't remember. Not so much? Okay, so I also put in here the Pinwheel Breathing tool. This one's really, really fun. You can make a pinwheel as a family. I guess that activity by itself might be really fun or not. So you decide, you know your family well. I very much honor and respect your mom gut on all of this. So go with it. Your dad gut. You know, as a parent, when I said this is going to be really fun, if you had an immediate gut reaction of, well, no, it's not. You haven't seen my child with scissors. Go with that. Trust it. You are the expert. Even more now than you were 5 weeks ago, because you've been living in the trenches and getting through all of this. You might make the pinwheel for your child, or if it does sound fun, print out this. We can have the slides accessible. You can also just search online how to make a pinwheel, or maybe you have one laying around your house. But there's something very calming about making your eyes focus on midline, watch that pinwheel spin while you breathe out really, really slowly. All right. So we are right on schedule here. I have a couple more things to show you. Like I said, I wanted to think through parents and families at all different places. And some families are in a state right now where it sounds really fun to gather up some supplies and make your own sensory tools from around your house. To other families right now, I lost you at gather up supplies. Like that's like, no thanks, too much, can't do it. And that's totally fine too. So with any of these, please don't hear a should at all for the next 3 slides, or even from the beginning of all of this. There's no shoulds. There's just grace and love here, and a lot of different ideas for everyone. But I love this website, lemonlimeadventures.com. She has some awesome ideas for how to make your own sensory tools. You really don't have to buy one. If you wanted to buy one, there are some great companies, some of them owned and created by parents of children with special needs that were looking for specific tools, and then couldn't find what their child needs, so they made it themselves. I think that's amazing. You can absolutely order something like TheraBand to put on the legs of the chair to just decrease the total amount of craziness going on in your house. You can order a fidget spinner, or maybe your child is. I've got one of my kids will be happy for hours if I were to give him this idea and the materials. He would just go to town making his own fidget spinners. I think a weighted lap pad, anything that's weighted is going to give that calming input, and for a lot of kids, and especially calming and motivating if the child has made it for themselves. It's super fun. So those are some ideas there, and there are so many more. But again, if make your own is like, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you, totally great, no problem at all. So this is kind of the opposite extreme. We know that we want to not be doing 5 million hours of screen time, but then in some situations, the only thing that's going to unite our family and get us all regulated is a little bit of screen time. So why not use that well? I just wanted to put together a list for all of you of great free activity-based videos and apps. So these are really fun. They take your child through activities, movement, getting that proprioceptive input. Searching something like distance learning PE on YouTube, you will see so many incredible things that people have made, literally a lot of them in the last 6 weeks as resources. A new one for me was Fortnite dances. These are hilarious and super motivating to kids. Roblox fitness, I have heard the term Roblox for 5 million years. My kids love Roblox, and it's not my favorite thing, but I didn't know until I was prepping for this that there is a Roblox fitness component, like the this or that game. So that's pretty cool. And one that we use as therapists a lot is Go Noodle. And your kids have probably even done some of the Go Noodle dances and activities in their classrooms before all of this happened. So those are great to look at. On the flip side, the apps, something like NFL Play 60, it's very cool. It actually tracks your movements, and then your guy does what your own body is doing. And then on the opposite extreme of that would be I Am Love, Kids Yoga Journey, super cool on the app side. ClassPass I put on this list for you guys as parents. again, wanting that regulation first, you all to be able to do whatever you can to take care of yourself in these times. ClassPass has something like, I don't know, it's thousands, and I don't, of course, get any money. That would be cool for any of these. So I just should probably say that. But ClassPass has a whole lot of different recorded exercise classes that are free. And then there is a thing that you can sign up for where you get to choose like live ones, but there's a lot that's available for free on there. Help us all, since we know we can't get to the gym right now. Okay, and then for the other kind of parent, the like, no, thank you, I don't really want screen time, and I'm not going to gather up a bunch of materials around my house. It might be more of the book side of things. So we made our sensory motor activity books all free on our website, and those are fun. They have lots of activities for all kids of all different abilities. And then Carol Kranowitz, one of my very favorite people, wrote a book a couple years ago and then revised it. The Out of Sync Child Has Fun, and it has lists of so many fun activities. That would be a fun thing. I would buy a book like that or Move With Me and purposely leave it out on the coffee table and let my child look through it and initiate and be interested, as opposed to saying, okay, I'm going to do this one and really force it. The Move With Me book is written by a physical therapist, Michelle Sikora, and it was like she literally, even though she wrote this book a long time ago, wrote this book for this season. It is really fun. They're cute theme-based, like this alligator goes to the dentist, and you use things from around the house, and there's even adaptations in there for if your child uses a walker or uses a wheelchair. So super cool stuff. And then the last thing that I wanted to include here, but don't in any way want to feel like, man, there's only one answer, is we did decide, because we're still trying to figure out how do we safely open the clinic. We're getting close, so there's encouragement there, but we wanted to provide virtual groups. So we are starting with 2 on May 18th. One is we took our camps, our summer camp program, and we turned it all virtual. So that's going to be really fun. And Sarah actually is going to be running one of each of these groups. And we have a couple other therapists that are going to be jumping in as well. So these are going to be fun activities, some movement, of course, some connection, some regulation activities mixed in there, and adapted to your child's needs. And then they're going to come with an activity kit of all the materials that you need sent to your house. So that's going to be really fun. It might be, and it's totally okay if you're in a place as a parent. Me as a working parent, I'm kind of the reason I made these, honestly, you guys, is I'm at the time in the place where I just need my kids, all 3 of them, to be safe for an hour so I can get something done. And so this was my own answer to my own problem of, I need to know, yes, my children are going to be in front of the computer, but they're going to be in front of the computer doing some really fun things with a really cool person with a lot of awesome background and information on child development. They're going to be safe. And also, each group will end with, okay, kids, go ahead and do this project now. Have your mom take a picture of you doing it, or bring back the completed project to show the group the next day. So there'll be some motivation and someone else telling my children what to do for just 1 hour. So those are starting, and I just wanted to let you guys know about that.